Welcome to Urban Legends, and in tonight's video, we'll be counting down the top 5 scariest stories from Illinois. As always, we save the most disturbing for last. McPike Mansion was built in 1869. The once grand Victorian home has stood abandoned for decades, but that hasn't stopped the ghost stories from piling up. People who visit claim to see shadowy figures, hear eerie whispers, and even feel unseen hands touching them. Paranormal investigators, history buffs, and thrill seekers have all been drawn to the mansion, and many walk away convinced they've encountered something supernatural. People claim to have seen ghostly figures peering out from the mansion's broken windows, even when no one is inside. These shadowy figures are often described as tall and dark, standing just out of reach before disappearing. One of the most commonly reported ghosts is believed to be Eleanor McPike. Her presence is often felt in the form of soft whispers, the faint scent of perfume, or a warm, comforting energy. Some visitors have seen a woman in Victorian clothing wandering the halls, only to vanish when approached. The basement, particularly the old wine cellar, is considered the most haunted part of the house. Visitors report seeing strange mists forming out of nowhere, hearing voices calling out, and even feeling unseen hands touching their shoulders. Some people have been so overwhelmed by the feeling of dread that they had to leave immediately. Throughout the mansion, people have reported hearing unexplained whispers, footsteps, and even children's laughter. Some claim to hear their own names spoken by an unseen presence. One paranormal team recorded what sounded like a deep male voice warning them to leave. Even on warm summer nights, visitors walking through the house often experience sudden bone-chilling cold spots. These temperature drops are sometimes accompanied by feelings of sadness, dread, or the sense that someone is standing right behind them. McPike Mansion remains a paranormal hotspot, drawing ghost hunters and skeptics alike. Whether or not you believe in spirits, one thing is certain: something strange lingers in the halls of this abandoned mansion, waiting for those brave enough to experience it. The Coal Hollow Road Monster, or Cahomo, is an eerie cryptid that was reported in the 1970s near Peoria, particularly around Coal Hollow Road. It's a Bigfoot-like creature, known for its large size, terrifying presence, and a horrible stench. Descriptions of Cahomo vary, but most witnesses agree that the creature is between 7 to 10 feet tall and covered in thick dark or dirty white fur. Some reports suggest a more matted or greasy texture to its hair. Witnesses also mention glowing red or orange eyes, though some say they just appeared reflective in the dark. Its build is massive and muscular, with long arms that reach almost to its knees. The most unsettling feature is its strong odor, which is often compared to decaying meat or sulfur, which lingers in areas where it was sighted. Cahomo was first reported in July 1972, when multiple people in the Peoria area began describing a large and hairy creature moving through the woods and fields. Some reports came from residents of East Peoria and Tazewell County. Witnesses claimed it was seen near the Illinois River, sometimes standing in or near the water. One well-known sighting came from a group of people who saw the monster walking near a road. Another incident involved a couple who saw the creature peering into their car windows, terrifying them before it disappeared into the woods. Police received so many calls that they actively searched for Cahomo, using dogs and helicopters, but found nothing. One particularly strange encounter described Cahomo as leaving behind 3-toed footprints in the mud, an unusual trait for Bigfoot-like creatures. However, no solid evidence, like clear photos or remains, was ever found. Cahomo is mostly seen at night and is said to be elusive but aggressive if provoked. Witnesses reported it making deep growls, howls, and guttural noises, and some said they felt an overwhelming sense of fear when it was near. Though it didn't directly attack anyone, it reportedly chased cars and left behind a foul smell. It was also spotted moving swiftly through wooded areas, suggesting it was highly agile for its size. By the end of summer 1972, reports of Cahomo faded, and the creature was never officially identified. But in the Peoria area, the legend of the Coal Hollow Road monster still lingers, leaving locals wondering if it ever truly left. The Devil's Gate in Libertyville is one of the most infamous urban legends in Illinois. It's a small, unassuming drainage tunnel under a bridge, located in an area that feels strangely isolated, despite being near a suburban neighborhood. The structure itself is a graffiti-covered concrete tunnel meant to help with water drainage, but the stories surrounding it have made it a magnet for thrill seekers and ghost hunters. Locals say that the tunnel was once used for satanic rituals. According to the legend, cultists would gather inside, performing dark ceremonies that left an evil presence behind. Some claim that animals, and even people, were sacrificed there. Over the years, those who have dared to enter at night report hearing whispers, footsteps, or even growls echoing from the darkness. Some say the temperature inside the tunnel suddenly drops, even on warm nights, and shadowy figures have been reported lurking just beyond the entrance. One of the most persistent stories is about a black mass that appears in the tunnel. Some describe it as a shifting shadow, darker than the tunnel itself, that moves toward anyone who lingers too long. People have run out in terror, feeling as if something was chasing them, only to turn around and see nothing. There's also a story about a set of demon eyes appearing in the darkness. People claim that if you stare into the tunnel for long enough, you'll see a pair of glowing red eyes watching you. Some say they belong to a spirit trapped inside, while others believe it's something far more sinister. There are even reports of visitors experiencing nightmares or strange occurrences in their homes after visiting the site. Despite the eerie reputation, there's no official record of anything truly horrific happening there, no confirmed cult activity, no murders, but the fear remains. The stories have been passed down for generations, making the Devil's Gate one of the most well-known haunted locations in Illinois. Even people who scoff at ghost stories admit that standing in front of the tunnel at night gives them an unsettling feeling, as if something unseen is watching. Whether it's haunted or not, it's a place that many refuse to enter after dark. The Lake Michigan sea serpent is one of the strangest and most enduring cryptid legends from the Midwest. For over 100 years, people along the shores of Lake Michigan have reported seeing a long snake-like creature moving through the water. The descriptions vary, but most witnesses say it looks like a massive eel or serpent, covered in dark scaly skin, with a head resembling a horse or a reptile. Some accounts mention humps rising and falling in the water, while others describe glowing eyes or even small fins along its back, and it is estimated to be between 20 to 50 feet long. One of the earliest documented sightings happened in 1817, when French settlers and Native Americans described seeing a massive creature in the lake, near modern-day Chicago. Similar reports continued throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, leading to growing interest in the idea that something unknown lived beneath the lake's surface. In 1894, crew members aboard a steamer near Michigan's side of the lake reported seeing a sea monster about 40 feet long with dark skin and a head that rose out of the water like a snake. They claimed it swam alongside the boat for several minutes before disappearing. In 1913, fishermen near Waukegan, Illinois, claimed that a huge eel-like creature surfaced near their boat, thrashing in the water before sinking out of sight. Some reported seeing humps moving like waves, suggesting the creature was much longer than they initially thought. One of the most bizarre accounts came from 1931, when a group of beachgoers near Chicago's shores swore they saw a long black creature moving through the waves. They described it as a living fire hose slithering through the water, sending schools of fish flying as it swam. More recently, in the 1990s and 2000s, occasional sightings have still been reported, mostly by fishermen and boaters. Some claim to have seen strange wakes or massive shadows beneath the surface, as if something huge was moving below. Lake Michigan is deep, vast, and full of mysteries, so whether the sea serpent is real or just a long-standing legend, it continues to capture people's imaginations. In the early 1990s, children in Chicago started telling a story about a clown in a white van. They said he would drive around, offering candy or money. He was described as wearing bright clothes and a big wig, similar to the character Homie the Clown from television. Even though the character on TV was meant to be funny, the clown in these stories was something else entirely. Word spread quickly from school to school. Children told their parents and teachers what they had seen, and soon the story was everywhere. Some kids said they ran away when they saw him, others told stories about friends who had close encounters. Schools took the rumors seriously, warning students to be careful and not to talk to strangers. Police officers even increased their patrols near schools, hoping to catch sight of the mysterious clown, but no one was ever arrested, and no clear evidence was ever found. Despite that, the reports kept coming. In some versions of the story, the clown was seen in multiple places on the same day, which made some people think there was more than one. Others said he never spoke but simply sat in his van. The more kids talked, the scarier the legend became. Parents grew concerned, and some even refused to let their children walk home alone. News stations and newspapers started covering the reports, which made even more people talk about it. Soon, the legend spread outside of Chicago to nearby cities, with kids from other schools claiming they had also seen a clown in a white van. But as quickly as it started, the reports soon faded. People stopped talking about it, and the police moved on to other matters. Even though no real evidence was ever found, the story stuck in people's minds. Those who grew up during that time still remember being warned to stay away from white vans and to be extra careful when walking home from school. The Homie the Clown legend became one of Chicago's most unforgettable stories and is still talked about to this day, but without any real proof of Homie, it will never be known if he was real or not. That concludes the top 5 scariest urban legends from Illinois. Which was your favorite? And do you know of any others? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time for more urban legends.